Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, my name is James, and welcome back. I love you guys. I miss y'all. How's your day going? I tell you what, I am just not doing too good today. I am just under the weather. I am just not feeling great. I'm drinking plenty of fluids. I got some vitamins in here so that it'll mix. Got some vitamins in here, some emergency, trying to just, I gotta work tomorrow. I don't call in sick, so I shouldn't say I don't. But I'd have to be really bad to call in sick. But as of right now, no, I've got to work tomorrow. So, anyways, we're here to talk today. We really need to get back on the range, but the problem is with the range, the way the range right now, it's just in my backyard. Well, so is deer hunting, and because of deer season, I'm trying to do a little more gear oriented, some stuff that doesn't involve shooting necessarily, but some stuff that I think is pretty good and pretty interesting, stuff you might need to know, and stuff that, hey, if you want to interact, you tell me, hey, try this or do this or maybe whatever, and we'll talk more about that as this video goes. But if there's something that you think that I might like, feel free to comment, guys. I'm not, narrow-minded enough to where it's only my way or the highway. If you have something good or something I need to know, tell me. I'll be glad to hear it. I have no problems. So, but right now, we got back from Colorado about a month ago, and someone was asking me about what kind of gear we use and what we use, and so we're going to talk some about that gear, and some of it is really low end, and some of it maybe not so much, but like I said, if I got something on here that you're like, man, try this, you're going to like it better, feel free to comment, guys. I'm not picky. Anyways, I wish I felt better. But we got plenty of stuff coming up. We have a lot of stuff we have to get back on the range for. The 360 buck hammer has come back from Henry, and I'm excited to get that back on the range and try that one. We have a lot of stuff coming. We have some stuff coming like in the future. We just have so much going on. I can't really talk about everything in this video, but we have a lot going on. Anyways, let's just get started. So we're going to start a little bit small, kind of small items, and then get bigger. And then at the end, we're going to have like a surprise item, but it really, to be honest, shouldn't surprise me at all. I don't know why it did, but it shouldn't have. It should be pretty obvious. But yeah. But anyways, so here's what I was saying. This to me is probably a little bit more on the obvious side, but being from Texas, it wasn't. So to me, we go for a walk, we hike, we do things here, but we never use walking sticks. And the concept of walking sticks, like I actually bought some the first time we went last year to Colorado. My brother didn't. We really didn't use them on our first trip to Colorado. But then we turned around and went in January to New Mexico, and actually New Mexico is where we actually used the walking sticks. And I think I'm probably the only one that actually used them. I think one of my cousins was like, he ended up just getting a stick and using a stick, whatever. But we went to Colorado this trip, and we all had walking sticks. And the thing about it is, there was a lot of snow on the ground. Things got slippery, especially when we're going up steep mountains. It really helps having like the multiple contacts with the ground. I don't know how many times I almost slipped and fell, and I ended up just catching myself on an actual walking stick. But this is what I picked up. I actually got these. This right here is a brand. It's called Cascade Mountain Tech, whatever that is. I don't care. These were like $20 out of Academy, and I picked them up. Not a whole lot of expectations, but I was like, man, it beats spending. Like, there's a pair of Peak Sissy sticks, which are like $150, and I just don't have that kind of money to throw around. So I think for the money, I've taken these things to Colorado twice, but in all fairness, I didn't use them the first time. So, but I took them to took them to New Mexico and used the heck out of them there, and then used the heck out of them again this last trip in Colorado. And I'm telling you what, they've really held up pretty well. I think for between 15 and 25, they were that range. They were a very affordable walking stick, and I've been very happy with them. I don't have any complaints. My brother, on the other hand, he bought a pair on Amazon, because my brother would be wanting to go look at stuff at the store and then go find something cheaper on Amazon. That's the way he is my brother. I ain't complaining. He does his thing. That being said, when me and my cousin set off to chase elk in Colorado, stand by. Oh my God, Jesus, it's been endless. when me and my cousin, we found the elk, we set up off the mountain. I had my walking sticks. My cousin had forgot his. I don't know, or he couldn't find them at that moment. So he ended up borrowing my brother's. My brother got a pair. I believe he got them on Amazon. I'm pretty sure that's where he gets everything. Somewhere on the mountain, my cousin, it was on our original climb. Before we actually found the elk, it was the original climb. He looked at me and said, "Man, I bit your brother. I bit my brother. He bit Mike's walking sticks." I said, "I don't care." I was too tired. I was like, whatever. So we were walking up the mountain. They got caught in between something. He put some weight on it. It did bend. I don't know. I haven't had any issues with mine, but it is what it is. I just $150 for walking sticks. I don't know. I just don't know that I could like talk myself into spending that kind of money. Dang it, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I've had really good luck with these $20-ish walking sticks. I have no complaints. I'm gonna keep using those guys until they break, I guess. I don't know. I mean, in fact, I'll probably get an extra pair just to have, just in case. For $20-25, it's not that bad. Second, I think one thing we use like this year and last year and the last couple trips we had, we have a base camp, and we leave base camp and we go out to the elk woods or chasing all that, whatever. And then when we're done, when we leave for the day, we leave stuff to charge. Well, still might. Kind of a combined little thing here, because we usually charge our stuff up on like this. This is a Jackery. This is like a small Jackery. It's a, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's their smaller unit, very affordable. They sell it at oh my gosh, Harbor Freight, and it's all over it's all over YouTube, all over the internet. But I mean, they even sell it at Costco. It is just a low end, but it's a battery pack. It really charges very well during the night. I have no complaints over that. But we also have, to me, the solar panels that they use to charge these things are kind of pricey. Like this thing here, I want to say was like $250, which is a lot. But as far as the battery pack goes, it is really helpful to charge your phone at night, charge other things. But then again, this thing uses power when you charge it, so you have to be able to charge it back up. My brother has these solar panels right here that he bought. It's not a Jackery brand solar panel, but he got them on sale. I think he said he was like $60-70, and it has multiple adapters to use, and it actually fits the Jackery. And actually, when I think I had gotten this thing down to about 13% or something like that, because my cousin had a phone that just drained the heck out of this thing using the plug for whatever reason, I don't know. But when I plug my phone in, it only uses about 6 or 7 during the night, but his drained it like crazy. It doesn't matter. But we plugged that solar panel in, and that solar panel, that one I just showed you, this one here, we plugged that one in, and it actually charged it in a day. We just charged it all back up 100%. By the time we got back, I set it out in the open, and then by the time I got back, it was back to 100%. So I don't really have any complaints there. The Jackery is a good tool to have if you have a base camp. If you're hiking in, which is kind of our plan next year, we'll get more on that later. But if you have a base camp, a good Jackery battery pack is actually very beneficial to you. I think. At least I think. I also have. I do carry these little battery packs here, just like this. Like my phone's charging right now, and to charge those things up by itself, while my Jackery's charging, I actually use like these right here. This little solar panel here. I have a speech impediment? I don't even know. Anyways, I use this thing right here. It is a Gold Zero. They actually sold this at Bass Pro. I mean, it worked all right. I use it to charge these battery packs, and it seemed to work pretty well. I'm going to get more into testing on that thing, but it did seem to work well. It did charge up my battery pack, so I don't have any complaints yet. We'll see. But it seemed to work well. I'll give it that, guys. A couple of big things that I really didn't expect. Now, these right here. Oh, well, how in the world did this happen? What in the world is this thing? I don't even know what this is. Okay, so these right here are actual boot gaiters, and what they are. And you might think, why do you need those, guys? So I didn't know exactly what they were for. I see them all over the hunting videos. I see them all over the place, and I actually, without sounding dumb, I actually thought they were probably for keeping ticks, fleas off your legs, off your pants. That's what I thought they were for. I know it sounds ignorant because it is. That's what I thought they were for, and then it dawned on me. It dawned on me. And so like you go back to Colorado last year, it was our first time really being in the snow. It's Texas. We don't snow here. Well, not much. And so when you step in the snow, your pants end up getting wet, and then it refreezes, and then before you know it, you have this much ice at the bottom of your pants. And so number one, it keeps your pants dry, at least the lower portion of it. It keeps them dry, it keeps them from getting icy, which also keeps you warmer. If your pants aren't cold, your pants are ice, it's gonna keep your legs warmer, buddy. I'm just telling you, from being in -6 weather, it was -6 degrees when we woke up from camp, and then it was -9 on a mountain. Having these on there with the snow was pretty phenomenal. I'm now granted, these are First Light. These aren't the most expensive ones on the market. These were about $80. There were some on Amazon for 25 or 30. We'll talk about that in a second. But then there's some other ones I saw the other day for like 120. I don't know. So these are kind of high middle road, kind of the higher middle road kind of. So, but what I will say is the ones we picked up on Amazon. So full disclosure, I didn't actually get to wear these. My cousin did. So I get there, I have my insulated boots on, have my pants on, I go to put these things on, and it didn't work. I couldn't close them up. And now, when I got them, I tried them on my boots here, and they worked great. But my insulated boots are thicker, I couldn't get over the top of them, and so I needed an XL. These are large, and it's what it is. But then my cousin, he bought the cheaper $30 ones on Amazon, and his were way too big. So we did a little switcheroo while we were there, and they worked just as good. These actually held up better than his. I wish I had his to show you, but I gave him back. He asked for him back. I thought we were gonna do a full switch, but he asked for his back, so I gave him to him. No big deal. When we were actually on the mountain chasing the elk together, this piece right here, this piece of the buckle, this little thing that right here, actually somehow something, I guess, got between my boot and this got pulled through. This little tab here got pulled through the other way, so it actually just flapped around the whole time on the mountain. Kind of annoying, but it still kept my pants dry. Even if it didn't have that piece that goes under your belt, it didn't pull up, it didn't do anything, it still worked. That's what I will say. Now, it can be fixed, you can bend it back. I don't know how strong it's gonna be, because it's already been bent once, but it did work regardless of the strap or not. So I was very, very pleased with that. Another thing that I think was really crucial with the trip, and I tell you what, when I originally pulled this thing out, because we got to Colorado, and we just kind of did some scouting, we're back at camp, and it's starting to snow. I pulled out my rifle, I had to attach my Tacticam, because I'm trying to film, and then actually when I was done with that, I actually put on this thing. This thing right here is, I call it a gun sleeve, but it actually came from Muley Freak. And the reason I picked it up is because with this, now granted, these kind of are a pretty generic price as far as what I've seen online, but this one came with a free hat, so I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. I love my hats. So I needed an orange hat anyways, so I was like, I'm getting that. And I actually put this over my rifle, and it actually fits very well. Even though the rifle itself is very long, there was still plenty of room with that. And even with the Tacticam, and it has these snaps, you can snap it on the other side, and it actually works very well. I was very pleased with this thing, and well, the reason I say that is because we're out there on the mountain, we're hiking around, we're doing our thing, and my gun is completely protected. But both my cousins, Brian and Tracy, were complaining about the snow getting in the barrel, the snow on the scope, and so my cousin had a glove sitting on top of his barrel. And then when we left, we went to the store called Murdoch's, and I don't know if I've ever been in Murdoch's before. We've been in the same place last year, and we didn't go in there. This place is pretty stinking awesome. They have everything, like everything. I was totally surprised, but they had everything there. But anyways, they went and bought like socks for their rifles and some scope covers and stuff like that to keep it better protected. And all in all, this piece right here, it got snowed on, it got wet, and the rifle stayed great. I was very pleased with it. Even though they did make fun of me for having it, they ended up wishing they had it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Told you so. Anyways, so another key equipment that we had, and I absolutely love these things, and some of these radios. I bought these 2 radios at Bass Pro, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. They're Midland, just little Midland walkie-talkies. They're OD green, black, had to get them. And the idea behind the walkie-talkies was that if we do see some elk or we see an animal, then someone can be on the radio and guide us into the attack or into our shot, whatever we needed to do. And I didn't really know how well it was going to work. I will say is that from where my brother was at, from where I was 2.5 miles up, 2,500 feet in elevation, and they worked flawlessly. Now, what I will say is this: were they perfect? In my mind, yeah, they were pretty perfect. It did what I needed it to do. The hindsight to that is every once in a while you hear some static, and basically it's picking up some frequencies from other people, probably other people using similar walkie-talkies, and you just hear it. And it took me a little bit to realize that I thought my brother was calling me, it was staticky, but it actually wasn't. It was actually some feed over from their stuff. But in all reality, when me and my brother were conversing, it was very clear, precise. I knew what he was saying, he knew what I was saying, and so they did work very well. Now, these things advertised, I want to say it was up to 37-mile radius or something like that. Up to 30. Now, I will find that funny, because when you're on a diet, you take a diet plan, they say lose up to 10 pounds a week. That could be a half a pound. Half a pound is up to 10. They didn't guarantee 10. They said up to. I just don't see these things doing 37 miles. I just don't. Now, did they work for that 2.5 miles? Oh yeah, they worked. They worked great. I'm not going to complain about that. And I don't know that I can ever test up to 37 miles. I just don't know why you would be that far from somebody. But supposedly they work up to 37 miles. But I can tell you what, they did work 2.5 miles up, 2,500 feet in elevation. They did work, and they worked great. And they will go with me from now on wherever I go. As far as hunting goes, they will go with me. Unless I'm here at the house, I'll just text you. But here in the mountains, yeah, they did work great, and I loved having them. Oh, God damn it. Something in this thing? Yeah, there is. Actually, quite a bit in this thing. Okay, that's why it's heavy. I'm like, God, dog. I'm just not feeling good, guys. I'm sorry. But, alright, so this is my backpack I've used now in 3 trips to Colorado and New Mexico. 2 to Colorado, 1 to New Mexico. And it works okay. And as you can see, it's actually a Cabela's brand. I picked it up at Bass Pro, but they're one and the same. It didn't matter. I have mixed feelings about it. It does work all right. It's not, I don't think it's the most comfortable, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It works okay. What I will say is this, is that it has these outer pockets here, which are fine with organizing, but when it comes to stuff inside the body, I do want something that opens up all the way down. I do. I really do. And this one does not. And so I wish it had like a mainframe. It doesn't. But it does have a cable system, and it's supposed to be really good for packing out meat. It had some fairly good reviews. The only negative review about this thing is this flap on the top here, which I have to admit is kind of annoying because it doesn't really close. It doesn't really cinch down. So this top here is actually, I don't understand it, whatever. But the backpack is okay, it's not bad, but I just think, I try to keep it kind of low. As you can see, my walking sticks were kind of low end. I was trying to keep the backpack itself low end, and it ended up just being, I always thought I would just splurge and got something a little better, because once you spend this much, if you just go here, you can get you a better backpack. And this being nothing, this is here, and then I should just got a better backpack. So we do have some better stuff coming in, because next year is going to be totally different process, which y'all guys will hear in a later video. But this is my Cabela's backpack. It's, I don't know. No, I would say no. Save up a little bit more money, get you a better backpack. If this is all you can afford, use it. It'll work. It's just, you're gonna like something better if you have it. If you can just save up a little more money, a better product like an Eberly stock. I think Stone Glacier has one, but Eberly stock is kind of the brand I'm switching to. And so I took advantage of some Black Friday sales plus their outlet store, and got a pretty good deal on a backpack, and all in all, yeah. Not a good pickup on my choice, but it is what it is. So, you live and you learn. Oh. If I said I don't feel good, yeah. I don't feel good. Whatever. Okay, so this right here, as you can see, is my Vault gun case. Now, I've done a video on this thing before, so it's not really, but it's basically to tell you how I feel about the product after using it on an extended trip to Colorado, throwing this gun case around, like, it's basically to talk about how I feel about this product after using it, and I gotta admit, I'm pretty impressed. Let's talk about it. Okay. I guess I need to angle this thing down a little bit. Okay guys, this right here is my Vault gun case. And just a quick glance, this right here is a Magpul DACA system. And basically, I call these things Legos, but it has these Legos that go here. And basically, you grid out a section for a gun here. I have one for a gun. As you can see, the barrel here, optic, stock, barrel, optic, stock. And you can even put a rifle here. You can section off for a pistol, binoculars, whatever you want to do in this thing. And basically you just move these little Lego pieces around until you grid off what you need. And then you seal her up. So, I mean, and we've talked about this product before, but actually, and even though I put the rifles in there, it felt secure. I gotta admit, I'm very impressed with this product. Taking it on a long trip, using it in Colorado, I mean, this system is awesome. And if y'all don't know what this system is, basically, like these Vaults, these gun cases like this, and I think if I remember correctly, this system is actually made, God dang, I'm sorry. So this system here is actually made for the Vault. And it's the Magpul DACA system. It's a grid organizing system that basically you can organize the inside of your gun case. And the phenomenal thing about that is when I bought this gun case, I was kind of like, I don't want to cut the foam, because then if I change rifles, I got to change foam. I just didn't like the idea of that, and so I had it for a couple years before I actually used it, because I didn't want to commit. And in my first trip to Colorado, I actually committed. I was like, I'm committed. Cut my rifle to the 300 Win Mag, the Savage 110, the Impulse. And so but then this year I didn't take it, so I had to change rifles. But I didn't want to change foams. But you put this grid organizing thing in your Vault, and then basically you can change it to any rifle, any gun, reorganize it, whatever, however you like. I gotta admit, I'm very confident in the system. It really sandwiches the heck out of your guns. The guns aren't going nowhere. I'm very impressed with it. I think this is like one of the biggest investments I've made this year that really panned out, and I'm really happy with it. And so I think you guys need, if you have a Vault gun case, you really need to look into that Magpul DACA system. Now, granted, it's not necessarily cheap, but it's well worth the quality is phenomenal. So I think that it's well worth the money, especially since you don't have to keep buying foam. So there's that. Now, the next item we're going to talk about is kind of like, it was kind of a surprise for me, and it shouldn't be, because to me it's something that's been happening for a long freaking time, centuries old. Yeah, I say centuries. It's been a while. I think it goes back to like Queen Elizabeth or something like that. And what I'm getting at is I'll just show you. This thing right here, this is a Nalgene bottle. And so when we knew we were going to get down to the negative degrees, and I still wasn't going to buy nothing. I was like, no, my sleeping bag's fine. And my brother and one of my cousins went and picked up one of these at that place called Murdoch's that I talked about a while ago. And this thing was like 15 bucks. It wasn't much. And what they did is they boiled water, and they put the boiled water in one of these things, and they threw it in the bottom of a sleeping bag. And I didn't take long to get kind of jealous, I'm not gonna lie. And so and it shouldn't, this idea of this shouldn't surprise me, because you think about those old bladders they used to use, and they used to use these old copper like they look like frying pans almost, and they put like coals or something in there, and it just, you know, it goes in the bottom of the bed sheet and it warms up at least the lower part of the bed. And so I don't know why this surprised me, but actually fill this thing up with boiling water. You throw it in the bottom of your sleeping bag. You don't have to get in there right away. As a matter of fact, I would probably let it sit a minute or two. And it just basically, when I got into the sleeping bag the next night, because my brother was talking about how great it was, it actually was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty nice going in there. The lower part of the bed is actually pretty dang warm, and so that to me was like the biggest surprise. Even though it shouldn't be, it should be common sense because of. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen this stuff, but yet it still surprised me when it worked. So, anyways, that's just a few of the things we took with us to Colorado. I know I have something like this, these little battery chargers for the phone. I gotta admit, this is a little Amazon buy. It will charge your phone up at least once, 1.5 times, but this solar panel don't work. It works on my brother's, didn't work for mine. I just feel like it's a 50-50 at this point. I don't know. I was not happy with those things right there. I do have some other ones I'm testing because, again, I want to be better prepared for next year. Always try to advance and make something better. Guys, if there's anything you saw in this video that you're like, man, I saw you use that, use this, this is better, please comment. Let me know. I'm all about change and making things better and easier, especially since Shauna's going with me next year. Yeah, I don't know. I think she'll be all right. I hope. Anyways, I love you guys. See you next week.